Okay, here we go. We are live right now. I hope everyone's having a great start to their weekend. Here we go. We are live. Let's do... Hey Hustler, hey everyone. How you guys doing? Hey guys. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I saw this boat before and I just decided to hijack it. I wish that you could own boats in this game, but tomorrow's the anniversary of Black Ops 1. Well, I still want to do a playthrough Black Ops 1. I just don't know when, but... You sailing to Florida? No, I'm sailing to Lemoyne or Louisiana. Uh... I'm new. Hello, professional. Hello, Ghostface. What time is it there? Where I'm at, it's 10:45. Hope you had a great week. Thank you, man. I had a great week. How have you been? I think this is the second fastest boat in the game. I think the boat with the motorboat is the fastest one. Do you know why your profile picture on YouTube glitched out like that? I don't know. I don't know, Orion. Yes, we're on the PS5 Pro right now. I'm not seeing any difference on Red Dead whatsoever. No difference in FPS, really. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but... When are you gonna play the new Ace Attorney? You mean Ace Attorney Investigations December? This month we are gonna be finishing up Black Ops 6 World at War and GTA San Andreas, and then we're gonna do Yakuza 0 in November, and then after that we will do Ace Attorney Investigations. Hey Pro, hope you're doing well. I always keep asking this, but I hope you're still hitting the gym and keeping healthy and fit from Australia. Hey Jay, I usually go to the gym every 3 days, but I've been slacking. I haven't gone to the gym for 5 days now, so I'll just probably go tomorrow then. Thank you, Jay, for the super chat. How far am I from the coast? Okay, I'm not that far. Yes, I'll do the Black Ops games. Wait, Fan Eyes, I hope everything is okay with you and your mom. The password to the computer in Vorkudo, I didn't realize that, Orion. Hey, Mario. I'm not sure, Hustler. I know it's, a horror mafia game. I want to play it sometime. Oh, I'm sorry, Brandon. What did you want to ask me? My old retail store I used to work at went out of business. It really hurts. Oh, what? You didn't work there anymore. What happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, fan. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, you have my condolences. Did I drive a boat in real life? No, never. Okay. Would you like a GTA game to be set in Texas? I wouldn't mind that. Thoughts on the upcoming Mafia game? I will get it. It's probably gonna come out before GTA 6. Would a GTA game set in Europe be unrealistic? No, they did GTA London, but that was some time ago.
I need folk like you know. Folk I can trust. You are making quite a name for yourself.
Do you own a firearm? I own a few. What do I think about Billy's ending? Billy who? For your omissions.
Take it from me. You find Capitale. Don't hold on to it for too long.
Let me see. Destroy
All
supplies
right.
will do that.
What? Not growing a conscience on me, are you?
What do I think of Bully's ending?
Okay.
Oh, it was good. I liked it. It was a happy ending.
Both of us. Good for you, because you'll be paid, and good for me, because these raider fools will get out of my city.
Don't give up on making videos, dude.
Supplies wiped out to make you
What's up,
change your
Ricky?
ways and find another port to ship out of. See,
Thanks for the good content. I'm doing this channel from France. Be safe and keep on doing what you're doing. Thank you, Spider.
no matter what they pay me.
Oh, okay, Brandon. You'll still do Generation Zero content. Okay. What's up, man? You can use a drill to get the screw out of your PS5. It's too close to the SSD. It's honestly scares me. It's like, it's for people that don't know what happened is my SSD, my internal SSD is stuck inside my old PS5. So like I wasn't able to put it inside my PS5 Pro, and it's because that little small screw where the SSD is, like the insides of the screw broke when I was trying to unscrew it, and so it's not like an X inside, it's like a circle. So like the little like parts where like the screwdriver puts in like snapped, and now I can't take it out with a screwdriver. I can't. It's stuck in there, and like I couldn't figure out how to get it out, and so my SSD is now just stuck inside my my PS5. Hello, Rumbling. A what, Ricky? Try the rubber band method. Put a rubber band and put the screw on top. The rubber will cause enough friction for it to unscrew. You strip the screw that badly, yeah. It's why I couldn't put my SSD in my PS5 Pro in the video. Like, I showed you guys where to put it in, but I couldn't put mine in, because, like, the screw's screwed. Watch some of that video. I have a 109 centimeter TV. It is useless, the PS5 Pro for me. Is your TV 4K? I think the best Star Wars Outlaws game was Star Wars Bounty Hunter. How did I pronounce Ahmed? How did you pronounce Ahmedabad? I just read it how it is. You mean the city in India? Is that what you're talking about? Thank you, GJ. Are you fluent in Spanish? No. I can speak like kind of like bits of like basic Spanish, but fluent, no. I could have a conversation with somebody in Spanish, but they would have to be talking really slow for me to fully understand them. Yo estudio español todos los días. Me gusta hablo español. Okay. Oh, I liked Vinland Saga. I watched it. I did like it. Well, you tell me, message me ahead of time when it's happening, Brandon. What Polish food or drink can I cook? Pretty much none. Nothing. I'm not a cook. Most of the time when I eat, I will cook basic things or I'll order food. That's pretty much what I will do when I eat. I don't eat, and just because I order food doesn't mean that I eat unhealthy. You know, I order a lot of different foods, but yeah, I'm not the best at cooking. But I eat a lot of canned food also. So like I stock up on a lot of canned food and I eat that because it's pretty easy to cook that. So that's what happens if the U.S. nukes Nazi Germany before they nuke Japan? Would Hitler surrender immediately? No. If the U.S. had nuked, Germany, Hitler would still not have surrendered. He still would not have. Hitler would not surrender by any means. Nothing whatsoever. He wouldn't. Now, as for nuking Germany, there was really no need to do that because Germany was being boxed in 1945, and it was only like a matter of months before they would collapse. They only lasted basically 4 months into 1945, really. So like I don't count May as like Nazi Germany's last month. It's more April is their final month, April 1945, because May they barely had anything left. Thank you, Mr. Jesus, for the super chat. Have you tried Factor meal plans? Yes, actually, I actually eat Factor a lot. I've actually ordered Factor a bit. It's just the thing about Factor is that their chicken, their chicken and their pork usually tastes kind of bland to me. It does. Like their sausage is good, but their chicken and pork sometimes is kind of bland. So that's what I'll say about it. Okay. Well, I will tell you this, not to really get involved in the whole political thing. I wasn't too surprised. I wasn't too surprised because there was that one guy that there was that one professor that I followed. His name was Alan Lichtman, where he was like predicted like every single election for 40 years. And when I heard his prediction for like this year, I knew that he was wrong. Like I looked at his keys, and he was extremely biased, and you know, I didn't believe him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What I'll say about that is I saw it coming. I knew it was gonna happen, but I'm not gonna say whether it was good or bad because I don't get involved in politics. But I knew what the result was gonna be. Knowing that he played Zoom Venom 2, one of the greatest antagonists in The Flash and Spider-Man, I can't believe Tony Todd is gone. Peak childhood. Rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you, Blinded Eagle. Tony Todd. I would have to look up. I would have to see a picture of his face, because I know actors most of the time by their faces. What famous movies did he play in here? I'm sorry, I just don't know actors that well, so I just Thank you, Blinded Eagle, for the super chat. Can you give a consensus of your favorite VS characters? VS? What's VS? But rest in peace to Tony Todd. Hey man, I ended up losing my dog yesterday, and I wanted to thank you for being a very entertaining creator. Really helped me keep my mind off it watching your Saints Row, GTA, and Call of Duty Black Ops. Thank you, Chariot. I'm sorry to hear about your dog. I hope that you feel good. If you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to me. I heard some people say American cheese tastes like plastic. Is it true? No. American cheese is good. Just don't buy cheap cheese. I don't think they're ever going to add hot air balloons now. It makes no sense, because them adding hot air balloons would be something really big, and I can't imagine Rockstar doing something big with Red Dead Online. Would I ever do a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 1? I already did Nicest Person in the Universe. I did it last year. Look it up on my channel. So, Red Dead Redemption 1, I did a full playthrough of it. Oh, Vinland Saga. Okay. I would say probably my favorite character in Vinland Saga would probably have to be Askeladd, because of how complicated of a character he is. He's like a villain and an anti-hero at the same time. Rest in peace, Peanut. They will pay for what they did to you. Who's Peanut? Thank you for the super chat, amateur. Well, Mario, anyone who attacks somebody, especially attacks someone over their race for voting for somebody, that's one of the stupidest and you know, most offensive things you can do. Wait, what's wrong, Ricky? Peanut is a pet squirrel. Oh, the squirrel that died. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard about that. Who was worse, Gestapo or Stasi? Well, Gestapo had more victims than the Stasi, but the Stasi were also really bad. What exactly happened with that, what exactly happened with that squirrel? Can somebody explain to me what happened? Like, I got like videos recommended to me about like a squirrel that died, but like the squirrel would dress up, right? It had like hats and stuff like that, but I don't even know like the full backstory. Like, what's that about? Oh crap. Oh, here we go now. Okay, there we go. They killed the squirrel over a rabies threat? What? Why do I call my name the professional? Well, that's just the that's the name that I chose. I've had the name Polish Mercenary since 2009, so it's, I've had this PSN account for, well over, 15 years. But the name The Professional, that was made in, like, 2017. Nice shooting, thank you. A viewer called Pest Control saying that had rabies. Oh my god. This was New York, right? I'm pretty sure this was New York. Did the state apologize that killed the squirrel? Trevor Phillips is a mass murderer and a criminal mastermind, but he will never harm innocent children. He is disgusted with people who harm children. Yes. And the thing is, Trevor is a bad person, but he's not evil. That's the thing about Trevor. The best example of an evil character in a GTA game is Dimitri. But it's like, Trevor isn't evil. They didn't apologize? What? They killed some poor squirrel? Oh my god. If I was that owner, I would have been devastated about that. That's horrible. Like, I don't know how I would have felt. If I had a squirrel that long, and, like, I cared for it, and then, like, the government just took it away from me and killed it, like, I don't know how I'd feel. I'd feel devastated. They also killed his raccoon? What? Is Nestle a good company? No. Nestle did horrible things in the country of India. Is that Nestle's products in India specifically had much more sugar, and even in their baby formula. So even in their baby formula, they had more sugar, and this was really unhealthy for, like, kids that were taking that in India. Because I think in India there were specific they didn't have as much regulation on the sugars. And, like, because of that, like, that Nestle, like, put much more sugar into, baby formula, and, this did hurt a bit of people in India because of that. But they killed them because the owner didn't have proper papers? What? Oh my god, this is exactly what I'm saying. Yes, I know that, Vertigo. Yeah, it was Gaming Emperor a long time ago, Nate. But this is exactly why I hate government bureaucracy. Why do you need to have paperwork to have a pet squirrel? Are you kidding me? Like, why do you need paperwork for that? Like, who cares? Like it's like if you have a squirrel and you're not letting the squirrel, like, you know, run around on the neighbor's property and stuff like that, it's like you should not need paperwork to have a pet squirrel. That's honestly one of the stupidest things that I've heard. Yeah, you need paperwork to have a pet squirrel. It's one thing if you have something like a tiger. That's something completely different. But having, like, literally a squirrel as, like, a pet, and you need to register that with the government, that's honestly one of the stupidest things that I heard, and it's a perfect example of, you know, why bureaucracy is, like, it literally holds society back. Yeah. That's so stupid. Yeah, I agree with you, Daniel. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. He was the original Candyman. He also played Commander Kern in Star Trek, TNG, and older Jake Sisko in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yeah, I heard about that, Fernando. I didn't know the actor, but a bunch of people have been bringing it up. Rest in peace to Tony Todd. And thank you for sponsoring my channel for 5 years, Fernando. Thank you, man. What? I tripped on something here just now. Hey, Roshan, how are you? Okay, fan. Hi, Aussie guy. Thank you for sponsoring my channel for 3.5 years. Thanks, man. Can we deliver the target? Yeah, we should just deliver the target. Can you post your comment again, fan? I don't see the comment. When New York City can control crime, they can speak about public safety. They will answer for what they did to Peanut and Fred. Well, I don't know, like, what, thank you for the super chat, amateur. I don't know, like, I don't know what's wrong with New York City. Like, literally, a pet squirrel that was, like, not even harming anyone, and they went and killed it. It's like... Hey Patrick, there is an election in Canada next year, October. Trudeau versus Poilievre. The next Canadian election will also affect the U.S. Yeah, I know about the election that's gonna happen next year in Canada. I'm pretty sure I know who's gonna win in the next year in Canada as well. Oh, let me look, fan, again. Did you post a comment again? Fan, because I would just, it's a lot easier for me if you just post the same comment again. I won't ban you for spamming, so don't worry about that. It's just Nestle is a horrible company. They polluted the river. Lead was found in noodles by the name of Maggie. They also support child labor. They say water should be a privilege. I boycott their product. Yeah, it's like I said, that Nestle has done horrible things in India. When I get the time, Zach, I will. Who is more redeemable, Dimitri, Micah, or Tenpenny? Who's more redeemable? Well, it really depends on the point of the story that you're talking about with them. I don't think that Dimitri's ever redeemable. I don't think somebody like him could ever be redeemable. I think the most redeemable person in that group could probably be Micah before he betrayed everyone. Because Micah could have, changed. He could have early on in the story. He could have stopped being a scumbag, but he didn't. So Micah is probably the one that has probably the highest chance of changing out of all of them, but he was the one who could have redeemed himself, but he, chose to be a scumbag. Pro, thoughts on celebrities having the power to sway elections? Should they not be able to get involved in politics considering their influence? No. I think that celebrities should be able to get involved. I hate celebrities getting involved in politics, don't get me wrong. But I don't think that you should restrict that because that technically is freedom of speech because you can't tell somebody they can't endorse somebody. But what I will say about this is that I'm not getting involved in the whole thing of politics on who's right and who's wrong. But the one thing that I will say about this is that the celebrity endorsements for the person that lost hurt her really badly. And the reason it hurt her really badly, like, people thought that, like, Taylor Swift was going to help her, and Taylor Swift and, who was it, Robert De Niro and Will Ferrell. But here's the thing is, when people look at people like that, like those celebrities, when they look at those celebrities, do you know what they basically think? They basically think like rich, entitled Hollywood elitists. That's what people think. And they look at that and they basically say, that person endorsed that candidate. It's like, that person's out of touch with me. And honestly, I will say this. If you're going to vote for somebody because they align with your politics, with your viewpoints. If you're going to vote for somebody just because Taylor Swift told you to, that's one of the stupidest things that I've heard of. Is like they're a musician, they're an actor, they have no qualifications in foreign policy, economics, and all the other sorts. If you're gonna vote for somebody because you agree with their politics. Don't vote for somebody because a celebrity told you. But now, what I will actually say, if you look at the other guy actually got the key endorsements, and this is what I think the media is missing. Is the media is missing the endorsements. The two best endorsements that the other guy got, the guy that won, is RFK Jr. and Joe Rogan. Those were the two most helpful. Those two endorsements did much more for him than Taylor Swift did for the other person. Way more. And the reason for that is because RFK Jr. was an independent party, and he tried to reach out to her and said, like, can you give me a position in your cabinet? There's a lot of people that, agree with my views in your party, and she refused to meet with him, and she called him a conspiracy theorist. The other guy met with RFK, and basically promised him a position. He endorsed him, he dropped out and told his voters to vote for him. And then Joe Rogan, you had Joe Rogan, who's the most popular, radio host in America. He has, millions of people that watch him that are, both left and right wing. And when he endorsed that guy, that helped him a lot, tremendously. And then you also have, the other people, Tulsi Gabbard, who she was basically thrown out of her own party for opposing world police. So she was, against the military-industrial complex. She didn't want to get involved in all these, dumb wars. And she had massive disagreements with the guy that's, that won. But she ended up endorsing him because she thought that he was less warmongering than the other person. So it was like, if you look at it, he had the key endorsements. He had, people that were important. But the other candidate, he just had actors and musicians. That's basically it. So that's what I'll say about that. 8 months after 2 weeks of getting the PC parts. And also, I'm not saying who's right and who's wrong in the election. The only thing that I'm basically saying is that that one guy, the guy who won, got the key endorsements. That, people made fun of RFK. They said he's a conspiracy theorist, but they didn't realize how much sway RFK had. And so, him and Joe Rogan helped him out tremendously. But, she refused to even go on Joe Rogan. So, that hurt her tremendously. Next GTA San Andreas video tomorrow. 8 months after 2 weeks of getting the PC parts together and with a bit of help building, it has been complete. Also, the weather here has been crazy. Thank you, Wasabi Guy. I hope you're successful with your gaming PC. Thanks, man. Do you think that if the president makes tariffs, do you think that that will be as bad as people are making it out to be from a non-biased Canadian? Well, what here's what I will say about this is that tariffs can be both good and bad. It really depends on the country that you're dealing with. If there is a country that basically offers us free trade, that country is not tariffing us at all, it will be a massive mistake to do tariffs on them. It serves no purpose. That country isn't tariffing us, and so there really should be no reason to tariff them. But if there's like a country that is, putting out massive tariffs on us and we're giving them really good deals, they don't have to pay, but we're paying, it's more justifiable to argue for tariffs than at that point. So tariffs are a case by case basis. It depends on what product you're tariffing. It depends on what country that you're tariffing. Also, it's all based on the country that you're dealing with and what the item is that you want to tariff. That's pretty much it. Like one country that has some of the highest tariffs in the world that people don't know is India. Like India has some of the highest tariffs in the world. Really, really high. Well, like I said, it's like I said, generals is there's a lot of viewpoints that these guys have that people might not like, but he had millions of supporters, and when he endorsed them, that helped out a lot. Are you playing on the PS5 Pro? I am. It's crazy to think that in 42 minutes I'm literally not gonna have a childhood anymore. Now it's the time for adulthood, taxes, and depression. You're gonna be 18 then. Well, and you've been a member for 18 months too. Well, thank you for being a channel member for 1.5 years. Thanks, man. I'm glad that your dad was able to sympathize with you and asked you to quit your toxic job and not pulling back in my day. I was the one who asked whether your family know about the retail job. Oh, okay, Jonathan. Yeah, well, in my opinion, Fernando, I think that it would just be better if every country, it's impossible to have a completely self-sufficient country because there is resources and production in other countries that's always going to be better than, in your country. Every country is good at something. One country might be better producing one item, another country might be better producing that item. But every country should always try to be as self-sufficient as possible. And one of the big mistakes the U.S. is making is that the U.S. is not as self-sufficient on, computer chips as they should be. Like, Taiwan controls a majority of computer chips in the world. I think it's like 90%, something like that. And the thing about that, we have good relations with Taiwan, and so we don't really have to worry about that. But the issue with that is that if Taiwan got conquered, for example, by China, that would cause our economy massive problems because now China would basically control the massive amounts of computer chips in the world, and that would be really bad. Oh, how did I not hit him? Do you know Lex Friedman? You have the same vibes as him. Isn't that the radio host guy? Yeah, and that's I will say and this is really the last thing I want to say because I really don't want to talk about the election, but the last thing I will say is that the worst thing that people can do, the worst thing they can do is when they during an election is when they try to accuse the other side of racism, xenophobia, bigotry, and calling people fascists. And I will say that if somebody is a racist, call them out. But just because you disagree with somebody's policies and you're gonna call them a fascist and a racist, that pisses people off. And people are not more likely to vote for you just because they get called a fascist or a racist. It's not like they're gonna turn their thinking around and they're gonna just decide, oh, I'm gonna vote for you now. It's insulting voters is that has never worked out. That's been really bad. That was that exact same thing. That same thing happened in my cousin's country, because my cousin he lives in the UK, And in his country, he told me that before the referendum, that people were constantly calling people idiots and uneducated and ignorant, and people got pissed at that, and they voted to leave the EU because of that. So it wasn't like it's not yeah, just like insulting the other side. It's not gonna help, and it's just not gonna convince people to vote for you. Hey J-Man, how are you, man? Fernando, I understand the concern, but I don't think something like that is gonna happen. Do I think GTA 6 should delay the launch of online so it won't have a disaster like GTA 5 did? Well, here's the thing. GTA 5 online actually did have a delay. It was delayed by 2 weeks, and it was still a disaster. So it's not guaranteed that a delay is just gonna prevent a disaster. Don't know. And also, you know, you know, yeah, I would agree with you, Fernando. I think that 2 terms is too much. You know, it's two terms is enough at that point, for anybody. But I will say this, and this is the final thing that I'm literally gonna say about this, is you know, the guy who won the election is regardless how you feel about him, if you like him, if you hate him or whatever, you can even think that he's a bad person. But when I see like these comments of people online that are basically saying, "Oh, he's Hitler," you know, he's the American Hitler, that's one of the stupidest things that I've seen. When I see comments just like that, it's honestly stupid. Because you could even think that he's a bad person. You could think he's a bad guy. But to like, you know, to compare him to like Hitler or think he's the next Hitler, that's not even comparable. And I'll tell you something, as like, you know, I'm a Polish American. You know, Hitler invaded my people's homeland and had killed millions of my people. And so like when I see like people say, oh, you know, the president-elect is Hitler, and people saying like that, it offends me personally. Even if I, you know, disagree with the person's policies, like, you know, calling like a candidate like Hitler like that's just stupid. And I will say, like, the people who call him Hitler, they really need to take a good look at history for that. Because like I said, you don't have to like the person that's in charge. You can hate him. It's your freedom as an American. You can dislike him. You can even think he's a bad person. But once you call him Hitler, at that point I cannot take that person seriously. It's it's too much. No, Kanye West is an idiot. Let me see here. Well, I guess we just have a respectful disagreement, Lucio, but I just don't see the comparison there. I think he's definitely done bad things, but like, you know, you know, to compare him to Hitler, I think that's too much. Oh yeah, I think that's really stupid. I think that's stupid too, Fernando. When like people think that yeah, that like an agent of God, like, you know, that, yeah, that's too much too. That's dumb. Where would I place GTA 7? GTA 7, I would place it in San Fierro and Las Venturas, 2 big cities. Wait, what, Phoenix? But yeah, I really don't want to talk about, you know, the election because it's extremely, you know, divisive. Everybody has their own opinions, and like I said, is I am just a you know, I am just a YouTuber. I am not you know, I don't like the idea of celebrities telling you who to vote for, and so I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not qualified to tell you guys who to vote for, who to support for. That's, you know, that's up to you and whatever policies you support. And I don't have anything against anybody, no matter what policies they support. That's it. The only, literally, and I'll be honest, the only political policy that I really don't like, personally, is when people want to ban all guns. That's really the only political policy that I really hate. But other than that, you know, I really don't have any issue when people have, you know, different views than me, or yeah. What happened to Lester in the lore? Well, you know, he continued into GT Online. That's it, Blinded Eagle. You know, GT Online takes place afterwards. PS5 Pro is too expensive. Yeah, $700. I'll see you, Brandon. Take care, man. I know about that. I'll actually show that dialogue when I get to that mission in San Andreas, yes. Thank you, man. And Lucio, are you here, man, too? Were you typing something? Because I saw you posted a message before, but I couldn't even get the chance to read it. It just disappeared. What did you say? Well, yeah, I would agree with you that, like, Nevada and Arizona are too slow. I would agree with you on that, yeah. Too much. They're too slow. Yeah. But look, I will just say here at the end that, you know, let's just hope that everything goes fine in the next 4 years, and that's about it. It's you know, 4 years, we get to choose again, and he can't run it for a third term. So even if you don't like the guy, he's not going to come back for a third term. So if you like him, you know, great. If you don't like him, then I guess there's 4 years from now, and there's also 2 years from now, there's the House elections. So. Oh, okay, Lucio. Have you ever been scammed before? If so, how bad was it? There have been times when I've lost money. I haven't ever lost, like, a considerable sum. But there are two times when I remember myself getting scammed. The one time I got scammed, but I got my money back. Basically, what happened was, there was this USB stick that I purchased on Amazon last year, and it was like a terabyte, like a USB stick that had like a terabyte on it. And the thing about this is, I looked at the Amazon thing, and the Amazon reviews, it was 5 stars for the USB stick. It was 5 stars on that. And I will be honest with you guys, I don't know much about computers. I'm not a big tech guy. Like, a lot of times people come to my channel and they think I know all about computers. I don't. You know, I know how to edit videos. I know how to, you know, make thumbnails. I know, you know, how to create projects and stuff like that and stream. But I don't know much about, like, computer internals or, like, the technology of them and how computers work. That I don't know about. I'll be perfectly honest with that. And so I saw this 1 terabyte, like, flash drive on Amazon, and it was on sale, and I was like, oh, I'll go pick this up. And it had 5 stars. And I thought it, and I needed a new flash drive anyways, and so I'll get a ton of memory on this flash drive, and I'll get it. And what happened is, what I use the flash drive for is I use it for clips on my PlayStation. So like when I'm using like lore videos, what I'll do is I'll record like a bunch of like footage on my PlayStation, and I'll put it on the flash drive. So I'll copy it from my PlayStation to the flash drive, and then I'll just put it on my computer. And so like I was like a lot of like GTA clips that I wanted to like copy to like my computer, and when I was trying to do that, and it just kept saying error. Like it was like putting it in, but then afterwards it was like error. And it wasn't working. And then what I found, one of my friends, he took a look at the flash drive for me, and he's really good with computers, and he's like, Pat, this flash drive doesn't have a terabyte on it. I'm like, how much does it have? He's like, maybe a few gigs at most. And I'm like, but it has all 5 stars. And he's like, it's a scam. And apparently what my friend told me is he told me that those flash drives, what they do is they format the flash drives so that when you plug the flash drive into your computer, it'll say 1 terabyte. But it tricks your computer. So your computer thinks that it has 1 terabyte, but in reality it doesn't. And so I was just fooled by that. I thought that it was like a real flash drive for like a 1 terabyte, and I bought it, but it was like a fake. It was like, and I got pissed. And I complained to Amazon, and I got my money back. And I made like a video warning people about it. And what I did was I went back to that flash drive. And when I went back to that flash drive, I looked at the 1-star reviews, and the 1-star reviews were all saying, oh, this is a scam, this is fake. And I should have read the 1-star reviews, but the thing had 5 stars. Because the majority of the comments on there were bot comments. Like, they were bot 5-star reviews, and they were like so fake. And it wasn't like real. So it's like bots that made fake 5-star reviews. So like every single time I'm purchasing something, I'm reading the 1-star reviews from now on. And I actually, that company that made those flash drives, I tracked that company down, and that company was from China. That's basically where they were. So it was, I made a video about this like last year about the flash drive scam, but I got scammed by that, and I got pissed. And that was basically the backstory behind that. But honestly, that just pisses me off. That like Amazon needs to get better with this. Like Amazon let stuff like that happen. They let like a product, a scam product, be sold on their website. I know you can't filter out everything, but the thing about that is when I actually Googled flash drives, I looked up like 1 to 2 terabyte flash drives after that, and I found so many fake flash drives on Amazon. Like, and this wasn't just like 1 or 2. This was maybe like 50 or 100 fake flash drives being sold on Amazon from different companies. And I was like, how is Amazon allowing this to happen? They're allowing scam fake flash drives to basically be sold on their site. And they had all like fake 5-star reviews, all of them. It was just so yeah, that's the time that I got scammed. The other time that I had gotten scammed is I got scammed by Uber Eats once. I didn't get scammed by the company Uber Eats, but I got scammed by the Uber Eats driver. Basically, what happened is I had ordered like a year ago. I ordered some food from this like burger restaurant that was like 15 minutes from my apartment. And the burger restaurant that I ordered food from, I ordered like this really big box like container of like apple juice. And I spent like $30 on this, you know, box of like apple juice. And this was like one of those really big containers that you have that like you can basically like fill cups with. So like there's this little knob you unscrew on that. And what you do is you just pour the apple juice in there. So it was basically like apple juice that would have lasted me for like weeks. And so I purchased like that big container of apple juice. And what happened is whenever I order anything on Uber Eats, I always, in the description of my Uber Eats order, I always say leave it in the lobby. So like the apartment lobby, I always say like leave it in there. And what would happen is when people delivered my food, they would always like leave it in the lobby. They would take a picture and they would just leave. And I would imagine that's what drivers want, because they could just drop off the food right away. They don't have to deal with the person. But what ended up happening is the driver called me. He called my phone, and he's like, you know, come down here and like, you know, get your food. And I was like, you know, I'm doing something right now. And he's like, you know, come down here, please get your food. I'm like, just leave it in the lobby. Like, you know, it's fine. I'll be down there in a moment. He's like, no, come down here and get your food. And like, and I thought that was like weird, because it's like I told you can just leave the food in the lobby. The instructions say you can leave the food in the lobby. It's like, why are you telling me to come downstairs like constantly? So he was really pressuring me to come downstairs, and I didn't understand why. Like I knew something was off, but I didn't understand what it was exactly, because you can imagine that like most delivery drivers, they just want to drop off if they have instructions to leave it in the lobby, they'll leave. Like, why do you want me to come down? It's wasting your time and my time. Like, I told you I'd get it in a few minutes. So I come downstairs, and when I come downstairs, he has my burger order, and you know, he has my hamburger and my chicken nuggets. And what happens is he hands me the bag, and as he hands me the bag, he's like, whoa, wait, let me take a picture. And I'm like, okay, fine. And like, I hold up the bag, and he takes a picture, and he just leaves. And then at that point, I didn't realize what was wrong. And then I realized when I got upstairs, like, oh crap, my apple juice container is gone. Like that really big container, because I was like, this bag is too small for this. It's gone. And so like my $30 like giant apple juice container, he stole it. He took it. Like I was like 99% certain he took it, because there's all the red flags. He wanted me to come downstairs so that he could take a picture, and specifically so that if I complained, he could say, oh, he checked the order, we took a picture. That was pretty much it. So he stole my you know, my apple juice container on that. I was pissed. You know, and there was really nothing I could do at that point, because I went downstairs and I took the picture, so there's no point even complaining. And the thing about this is I Googled this. I looked this up on Google, And this is a common scam that happens on Uber Eats. This didn't just happen to me, where drivers will insist that you take a picture. And what they will do is they'll steal one of the items from the bag, and they'll basically say, like, you know, take a picture. And and if you try to complain, they'll say, oh, he took a picture, he checked the food. Most people aren't going to check the food in front of the driver. They're just going to take the picture and just want to get their food and leave. And so that's basically how the whole scam works. So if you ever have that happen, where, you know, you're ordering like DoorDash and Uber Eats, and the driver like insists on taking the picture, if you have a situation like that, what you're going to want to do in that situation is check the food. Be like, okay, you want me to take a picture? I'm going to check the food first. That's basically it. And if something is not there, you tell the driver right away. It's like, where is my item? That's basically it. But I was pissed about that. He stole my giant apple juice container, and that was gone. So I felt scammed. I was pissed. Yeah, I know he drank the apple juice, Aussie guy. There's really, you know, unless he resold it, he drank it. So that was it. So I was pissed about that. It was like a big container of apple juice. It was like $30. And the thing about this, I gave this guy a really nice tip. I gave him a 25% tip on top of that. And he took my tip and literally took my $30 container of apple juice. I was pissed. I was annoyed. I was really, really annoyed about that. It's like, I gave you such a nice tip, and then at the same time you're going to rip me off like this? I was pissed. I was annoyed. Did you notice the bag is heavy? I wasn't thinking at the moment. I wasn't thinking. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. It's like, where's my apple juice container? Like, he just handed me the bag and stuff like that. I wasn't thinking that he was trying to scam me. I wasn't thinking that. And the second I got upstairs, I was like, wait, my apple juice container. Like, I knew something was wrong. And I was pissed, so. So that's basically the whole backstory. You can still get a refund for that. I don't know. I didn't bother complaining to Uber Eats, because I knew he would. If I complained to Uber Eats, I knew that he would accuse me of scamming him, and he would basically like lie and say that I'm a bad person or something like that, and there would be drama on the app. And so I didn't want to go through that. I was like, you know, F this. I'll just let this go. So that's basically it. I was pissed about that. I did have a driver once steal my food. That did happen once, where somebody actually took my food and they never delivered it. Like, I just saw them pick up the food, they picked up the order, and then they just drove off of it. Like, they didn't even drive towards, like, my apartment. Like, I was checking, they just drove in a completely different direction. And, like, and I thought that they were, like, making multiple orders at the same time, too. But it was, like, half an hour, 45 minutes later. Like, and I texted the person, like, where's my food? No response. Call. No response. Nothing. And I just basically called and complained to Uber Eats, and they gave me a full refund. I never got that delivery. Oh, I didn't know that you could adjust the tip afterwards. That I didn't know, but yeah, that's what I'll say, guys, is if that ever happens to you, if you're ordering, like, food and the person insists on taking a picture, please check your bags. Don't let it happen to you what happened to me. I got scammed on that.
How dumb are you?
Flippy? Oh, you mean the Saints Row guy? You learned German in 2 years, and you're fluent. That's impressive. Most people take several years to be fluent in a language. That's impressive. A while ago, I took a DoorDash for a customer from the restaurant to the train yard 14 miles away. I got paid $7, no tips. I felt a bit frustrated. Oh, man. Yeah, that sucks. That really does suck. Whenever I tip, I always give 20 to 25%. That's what I always do. 20-25%. And I will say that if it's like bad weather, if it's like snowing, or if it's like you know, rainy, I will make it 30%. So that's man, I'm sorry about that, Ricky. Yeah, I'm on the PS5 Pro right now. Oh, you know, I gotta say that's the guy who speaks Chinese. Like, he makes a lot of videos where he's speaking Mandarin. I will say he has to have a really high IQ to be able to learn that many languages, you know, that quickly. That guy's gonna be very, very intelligent. That's yeah. Pro, how do Americans react when tourists don't tip? Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, a lot of times it offends Americans, but Americans are not very shocked by it too, because in a lot of countries, like, you know, in a lot of countries, like, tourists don't tip. It's just, but at the same time is, what I will say about that, here's what I'll say about that, is that you can make the argument that tipping culture is toxic. You know, I guess you could make that argument. And the stupidest thing I've seen with tipping culture is when you go to self-checkout kiosks and they ask you for a tip. It's the stupidest things. I always hit 0. It's like, I give generous tips, but I give generous tips for, like, service. Like, I'm not gonna give a tip for, like, food that, like, I picked up on my own, or, like, you know, a grocery order that I you know, bagged myself and stuff like that. I'm not gonna give a tip for something like that. But when it comes to, like, you know, service in a restaurant and stuff like that, when foreigners don't tip, Americans do get upset. They do get offended by that. I know about that. I know, but what foreigners don't understand, a lot of times tourists, when they come to America, is that in America, the minimum wage for waiters, I think, is like $2 something, because it's supposed to be made for, like, you know, their wage is supposed to be based in tips. And so, like, American waiters make on average way less money than for example, in Europe. In Europe, waiters are, like, paid a fair wage. Like, that's the law. But, like, in America, it's like $2 something an hour. So if the person doesn't get tipped, it's like they're basically not getting, you know, paid for their job. They're getting paid almost nothing. So that's what I'll say about that. Is you can make the argument that tipping culture is wrong, but it's like it's the right thing to do when you're getting service from the person, because then the person's, like, you know, not getting paid. It's like, you could argue that the manager should pay them more, but it's like I could never do something like that. I can never leave, like, a 0 tip. I can never do that, because, like, I'm always 20-25% on tips, because I feel bad for a lot of people that work in the food industry, and so I'm always pretty generous with my tips. Should I tip if I choose carryout? No. When I do carryout, I don't tip. I looked it up. I looked it up if that's a bad thing to do, you know, not tipping for carryout, and most people agree that it's not, because when you're tipping, most of the time is you're tipping for the person delivering to your house, you know, coming to your house. And here's the thing about this is, I have a Domino's pizzeria, and that pizzeria is like 1 mile from my apartment. It's like I could even, like, walk there. So it's so close by. And so it's like, you know, I'm not going to give a tip for something like that. If I have that person deliver to me, I'll give them, like, a tip. But, you know, if I'm picking up the food, I'm not going to typically get a tip. Do a tip. Who was the worst president to serve in office? Very easy, James Buchanan. James Buchanan is, because James Buchanan did nothing to stop the Civil War from happening, and he basically gave Lincoln a giant mess when Lincoln took power. I'd love to hear your opinions on Trudeau and Canada. I don't really want to talk much about the politics. The thing I will say about Trudeau is I've talked to several Canadians, like a lot of Canadians, and I have, like, a lot of Canadian friends online. I have not heard one person, and I am not exaggerating when I say this, I have not heard one person tell me that they like Trudeau. Not one person. And I'm 100% confident that he is going to lose the next election really badly. It's going to be really, really bad. So that's basically what I'll just say about him, is not getting involved in the whole politics, but I have not heard any good things about him. Like, there's not one person that I've heard that actually likes him. Did you see my comment about my grandpa? What's your comment, man? Well, he probably used to be liked. That's how he got elected. But he's extremely unpopular. Are anti-tank rifles effective against enemy tanks or rocket launchers? There is no... I don't think there's any kind of anti-tank rifle today. Like, there's no such thing. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any anti-tank rifles today. Like, they don't exist, really. Because the armor today on tanks is so much that, like, no rifle, I think, could get through it. So I don't think that there's... yeah, I don't think that there's such a thing as anti-tank rifles, really today. World War II was really the last war where anti-tank rifles were used, and they were primarily used by the Soviets. And the thing about anti-tank rifles is anti-tank rifles are really not going to blow up a tank unless you hit it in a very vital spot. If you like hit the ammo directly, then it's probably gonna blow the whole thing up. But that would be a very lucky shot. Basically, if an anti-tank rifle, what it could do, depending on the tank, because like if it's like a Soviet PTRS-41 and it's going up against like a Tiger, it's gonna do nothing. But if it's like a German Panzer tank, then maybe if it hits like the back, it could actually go through and do some damage. I'm not a total expert on tanks, but basically what it could do is it could disable the tank. Like it could hit a part of the engine. It could maybe hit a crew member, because if you get hit by a PTRS round, you're dead. It doesn't matter if you get hit in the arm, leg, you're dead. No matter where you get hit, you're dead. So it takes out a crew member, disables part of the tank, but it's not really going to blow the tank up unless you hit it in a very vital spot. I have, Travis. Have I ever played bowling? Yeah, I've played bowling in real life. I haven't gone in years, though. Are you gonna do more videos trolling scammers? Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. I need to find, like, what is it, I need to find, like, scammers. It's been hard finding them, but... Let's see, is this a trap?
Think you could give me a ride to town? Oh, you will? Finally, some kindness. Thank you.
Okay, this is not a trap.
Oh, tell the truth. Reckon you can get me to Valentine? I'm assuming you know the place.
It's literally, you need a ride to Valentine? That's not even a mile. That's like literally, you could walk that in less than 10 minutes. That's... Okay, hold on, fan. Well, about the Browning, the M1 1919, yeah. I don't, it really, I guess it really depends on the person that's wielding it. Because, like, do you know who John Basilone is, Gunner? John Basilone, I think it was the Medal of Honor that he got. But John Basilone, during the, Battle of Guadalcanal, actually took a Browning and actually stopped a Banzai charge. Like, he took down an entire Banzai charge, and he held the Browning, like, he was actually holding it. But John Basilone was a big guy. He was, like, a strong guy. So, it's not completely unrealistic to be able to, like, run and gun with a machine gun like that, but you would have to be a very strong man. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Did she just say that? I literally just dropped you off. I guess, yeah, you might be right. He was more spraying and praying. I would agree with you on that, Gunner. My membership was taken away from me? Wait, what? What happened, Sammy? I know you said GTA 6 won't be delayed because of investors, but Rockstar hasn't even said that this next GTA 5 update is going to be the last. The summer update is probably going to be the last one. I actually covered that in my video. I said this is not going to be the last update. What do I think of Andrew Carnegie and Rockefeller? I think they were scumbags. I think that they did build key industries for America, but they, ripped off a lot of people. A lot of people actually suffered and died because of them. Like, Andrew Carnegie had little kids working in his mines, dying. So it was, I don't know how somebody can sleep at night and, like, do stuff like that. I will say the one good thing that Andrew Carnegie did do is, like, the last few years of his life, he donated huge amounts of his wealth to charities. But the thing about that is, I don't know if that was necessarily out of the goodness of his heart. I think that was more of him trying to, for his reputation, to be known as a kind man, and also he might have been scared of hell. That's what it might have been. So, I don't know if that necessarily was the goodness of his heart, or what. He did, what Andrew Carnegie did do, is he did get a bunch of religious leaders, like, together, And what he tried to do is he tried to stop World War One. He tried to have all the countries early on in World War One like sign a peace treaty just to stop the war, but they didn't listen to him. So that's one good thing that he did try to do. But he, like I said, he's like his factories, the child labor, the workers dying in his factory floors. It was, you know, also the Homestead Riot or the Homestead Massacre, all the people that died at the Homestead Massacre too. Like, you know, you can directly blame all the killings on him, that was his fault. They're scumbags that will burn in hell, and they use their private army to shoot protesters who fought for better conditions. Yeah, well, I will say, yeah, yeah, that's basically, you know what the Homestead Riot was, the Homestead Massacre. That's pretty much what happened. The Pinkertons shot protesters. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. Where am I going right now? No, but I know the game Black. I know what you're talking about, Gunner. I have Mario. Oh, I know about that. Yes, the Pinkertons are called Securitas AB today, and they did go to some guy's house, yes, over playing cards. That is true. What do you think was the most rage-inducing level in a game that you played? Oh, that's easy. A mission that pissed me off the most, I encountered so much rage. That it's actually a mission that nobody's gonna talk about, that people really don't talk about. The hardest mission I've ever played in a game, and I died so many times it made me rage, is the final boss fight in Killzone 2 on Elite difficulty. If you play Killzone 2 on Elite difficulty, if you play that, and that game is so hard on Elite difficulty, if you get to the final, you know, right before you get to Visari's throne room, when you're fighting Colonel Radek, and the boss battle has like 5 different phases, and he die in like 1 shot each. It's like the Colonel Radek boss battle. If anybody's played Killzone 2, you know the Colonel Radek boss battle. That on Elite difficulty, and one of the most annoying things I've ever seen. That was disgusting. That entire boss battle made me rage. World at War on Veteran is bad, but you've never played Killzone 2 in Elite. That's the worst one. At work, there was this DoorDash order sitting in our lobby a few days ago, and the customer called for a remake before the driver got there. When the driver came, he tried to take it away, and he got banned. Oh. Well, what happens to Blinded Eagle? What happens to food that that people order to be like remade. Like if you cook food, right, and the person orders the food to be remade, like what happens to the first order of food? Like what generally happens to that? Isaac Frost was annoying too. Yeah, Isaac Frost was ridiculous. You could set Radek on fire. Well, I don't know. It's been like so many years since I played it, but yes, Radek was annoying. What's that trophy? The War Hero trophy in the Killzone 2? I love the soundtrack in World at War, especially when the metal music with the guitar starts playing. The soundtrack was great, yep. Oh yeah, Mile High Club on Veteran, that was annoying too, I would agree with you. Do you know Larry Lawton and Michael Franchise? Yes, Larry Lawton is the former jewelry store thief, and Michael Franchise was a former capo in the Gambino family. I think he was Gambino family, yeah.
I get in a boat, ride the spring dog all the way to Valentine. But I need you to get me that boat. They got some over by Window Rock. Get it? And I put
Usually we have to throw it away because we can't serve it from a safety standpoint. Context is that the order was sitting for over an hour. The driver also got banned from my store and I think DoorDash. Oh. Oh, the platinum trophy. Oh no, I'm not gonna. I didn't get that. Oh, I actually played Enlisted a couple days ago, or yesterday actually. I was testing the PS5 Pro on it. Well, I wouldn't say he tricked the entire internet because I saw through it. I wasn't the only one. A lot of people saw through it. I did play the first Call of Duty, yes. Well, Yakuza 0 is actually the next game that we're playing after San Andreas. A president of my choosing. Well, I think I would. I've talked to a lot of World War II veterans, but I would also like to talk to a president of my choosing. If I could talk to one president today, it probably be George Washington. I probably would want to ask him what he thinks of America today. That's probably what I'd ask him. Yeah, I'll do 100% completion on San Andreas. Go to the camp. Okay, let's go to it. Judgment, yeah, Judgment takes place in the same universe as Yakuza, right? What World War II soldier have you talked to? I talked to a pilot or a bomber crew member. I don't know if he was a bomber crew member or a pilot. That I don't know. The only thing I know is he served on a plane in World War II. But I remember it was a World War II veteran, and this is like 8 or 9 years ago probably when I talked to this guy. I don't know if the guy's still alive. I hope he is. But about the guy is the guy was talking to me about like his World War II stories, and I thought it was a bit strange at first because I was working at the store and he started talking to me about his World War II stories. So I guess he probably wanted somebody to talk to. But he did tell me a very interesting stories, dude. He told me about how, and I wasn't able to get through most of his story because my boss unfortunately was rushing me at that time too, and told me that I need to get to the front and help with the register. But what I remember him telling me is he told me something interesting but also very disturbing at the same time too. He said that he fought the Japanese in the Pacific in aerial combat. And he told me, so I don't know if he was a bomber or a fighter pilot. That I don't know. But what he basically said is, he said that the number one thing that he was scared of, more than dying, is he said he was scared more of getting shot down, getting captured, than dying. So he said he was more scared of his plane getting shot down and getting captured by the Japanese. And he said that if he was to get captured, he would have rather put a bullet in his head than get captured. So he was just so terrified of the Japanese that he said he would have killed himself before he got captured. So he was more scared of actually getting captured than dying. So that's the thing that that's the thing. I wish I could have listened to more of his story, but my boss was unfortunately, an asshole, excuse me. So it was like, but I would have liked to talk to him and ask him what battles in the Pacific did he serve in. Because the thing is, when people think of World War II veterans, the first thing they think of is somebody that might have served in like France during World War II. But people don't really think about a lot of times about the Pacific World War II veterans. And so he was a Pacific World War II veteran, and yeah, I would definitely have liked to hear a lot of his stories too. Well, Romania isn't a Slavic country, so at least I don't think so, but it was just more political reasons. No, I haven't heard of that one, Gunner. Well, Blazing Angels, actually, I have Blazing Angels on the PS3, that one I do have. My great-uncle shot down kamikaze planes in World War II. He saved a lot of lives, because those planes would have killed a lot of people. The thing about Sniper Elite, I'm excited for Sniper Elite Resistance. I always like playing like a new game, and we get new maps and new missions. So there's that, but it's very similar to Sniper Elite 5. But here's the thing is, Sniper Elite Resistance would not have been that big of a deal if they had just chosen a different location. Like, if they took the Sniper Elite 5 engine, and they made like a Sniper Elite game in the Pacific, or like maybe like Nazi-occupied Poland, for example. Like, they could have done a Sniper Elite game during the Warsaw Uprising. They could have done something like that, like where you play as like, if it's called like, Sniper Elite Resistance, you could have played as like a Polish resistance sniper during the Warsaw Uprising. That would have been like, cool. So I'm excited for the new Sniper Elite game. I'll buy it, I'll play it, but it was like, it's kind of disappointing that it's France again, because they already just did France with Sniper Elite 5. My grandfather was in the military back then, fighting against the Japanese trying to conquer my country, Indonesia. Oh, okay, Stratos. I hope that your grandfather survived the war. Japan was very brutal in its occupation of Indonesia, and they also forcibly conscripted a lot of Indonesians into their military. I like the duels from Red Dead Redemption 1 more. Yeah. The anniversary of World at War is on November 11th. That actually will be probably the perfect day to release the final part of World at War. My grandfather survived World War II. He passed away in the 1990s before I was born. Oh. Okay, Stratos. Well, I'm sorry. You have my condolences. He probably did go through a lot. Indonesia did suffer a lot under Imperial Japan. Thoughts on the German government seizing, like, a citizen's private tank? I think I know about the story. It was like a... Wasn't it like a Panther tank? That he had? But about that, I don't think the guy was a neo-Nazi, right? He wasn't like a neo-Nazi or something like that. And I think the guy did remove the Nazi symbols from the tank, right? So it was like, if he's just like a World War II collector, he's not like, you know, some dangerous person. If he wants to keep a tank, he should be able to. I'm not necessarily against that. So in the United States, in my country, in America, you can own a tank. You can. So, like, there's no laws necessarily against that. I don't think the cannon can be operational, but you can still own a tank. So you can in America. So you know, I think it's kind of stupid. And also, like, pulling it out of that guy's house and just, you know, destroying everything like that and also taking the guy to court. That's like, that's stupid. No, I don't think you do need, I don't think you do need a permit. I think you just register it as like a regular vehicle, just like you would register a car, register a tank the same way too. So, yeah, I think that's stupid, and I think that's excessive too. Why were the Japanese so bloodthirsty in World War II? Well, the answer for that is I'm actually gonna say something that a lot of World War II historians I don't think have really said, but when I say this, I think you'll kind of agree with me. Imperial Japan isn't just a bloodthirsty empire. Imperial Japan was the largest cult in history, and when you really think about it, isn't that true what I'm saying? When you think of a cult, you typically think of like a bunch of crazy people from like a religion, like, you know, doing some crazy things. But when you really apply it to Japan, am I wrong in that? Imperial Japan really was the largest cult in the world when you really think about it. It was a giant cult. It was an empire, but it was a giant cult. So Imperial Japan, they believed that their emperor was a god. They believed that their leader was a living god itself. And so they believed that they cannot fail the god. They have to fight for the god. And if the god tells you to go and attack a country and, you know, colonize it and, you know, and kill their people, they're so brainwashed into that, you know, religion that that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to follow their god, and whatever their god tells them to do, even if their god tells them to do atrocities, they're going to do it. And so when you think about it, the Japanese blew themselves up in World War II. They killed themselves because of dishonor, seppuku. They would fight till the very last man. They believed that surrender was worse than death. They literally flew planes into ships and killed themselves. They even developed a human torpedo. You know, a torpedo that a soldier would guide. So they would actually drive the torpedo underwater and they would blow up a ship. So literally, that's what I would say about this, is that when you really think about it, Imperial Japan is the largest cult in history. And that's why Imperial Japan was so violent and so bloody. Because they believed that they were on the right side in history. They believed that their religion, that everything was okay. They believed the emperor was a god, and the emperor gave them permission to commit these atrocities. And so because of that, they didn't care.
Look, there they go.
Don't forget the suicide bombers at the surrender. Well, I did mention it, but yeah. That picture was disturbing. The pilot holding the puppy, yeah. I will there was a picture that I actually had in my last World at War part, and it's actually one of the most disturbing pictures that I've ever seen. And what the picture is in the picture you see a bunch of young Japanese pilots. And you see the pilot in the middle who's the youngest pilot out of them all. And he's holding a puppy, and he's petting like a puppy. And you would think that's like a harmless picture, it's just like a young pilot with a puppy. There's nothing bad about it. But what's so disturbing about that is that Japanese pilot holding the puppy is the youngest kamikaze pilot in World War II, 17 years old. Wasn't even an adult, he was a kid. And one day after that picture of him holding the puppy, he flew into an American battleship and he killed 60 people. And so that's one of the most disturbing pictures I've seen, that like a 17-year-old can just basically throw their entire life away, you know, for an emperor and a shogun that doesn't even care about them at all. So that's what I'll say about the that. I'm not defending the guy and what he did. What I'm saying is that it's truly disgusting that they brainwashed a 17-year-old into killing himself for the emperor. They literally brainwashed a 17-year-old, somebody who has their entire life ahead of them, to like do something like that, to fly into a ship and kill himself and kill how many other people also for that. That's well. And here's the thing: the average age of a kamikaze pilot is 21. That's how young they were. I thought that kamikaze pilots were always like in their late 30s or 40s. I thought they were like really older people that were devoted to the emperor so much. But no, most of the kamikaze pilots were actually really young guys. And the reason they were such really young guys is because the experienced pilots, they needed them for missions. They basically trained these kids to kill themselves for the emperor. They knew that they had not that much combat experience, and so they trained them to basically suicide bomb into like American ships. So Japan in World War II was pretty similar to how North Korea is today, yes. But there's two differences between Imperial Japan and North Korea. The two differences is that Japan was more, their economy was a more freer, capitalistic society, where North Korea, it's a very, state-controlled economy, government-run economy. And the second thing is the Imperial Japanese were not starving. The North Koreans were starving. That's the difference between the two. The Japanese really did not starve for most of the war until near the end of the war. Near the end of the war is when the Japanese started starving. But for most of the war, the Japanese citizens had food, unlike the North Koreans. What was that about there? Okay. Were the Imperial Japanese worse than the North Koreans? I would say yes. Because as bad as North Korea is, North Korea has done horrible atrocities, but mainly in their country. They haven't done atrocities in another country since the Korean War. So that's... So Imperial Japan, killed millions of people. They invaded so many countries. So yes, Imperial Japan is also worse than North Korea. Yes, in the Aleutian Islands, I think. The Russian sleep experiment, I don't know if that's actually real. I think that actually might be clickbait. You don't have to apologize for leaving the stream, Tactical. Watch whenever you want, man. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the Russian sleep experiment was fake, too, yeah. Devil all the time, where a soldier comes across an American crucified by the Japanese. My God. Have you heard of that one accident with the Tupolev Tu-104 in 1981, where 16 admirals of the Soviet Pacific Fleet died? Apparently, the plane crashed because it was overloaded with goods they bought. Yeah, that sounds more like the Soviet government had those admirals killed. Like, have you heard about that story with the what's his name? Damn, I'm forgetting the guy's name. What's the name of that Russian guy? The guy who got blown up on the plane, like it happened like a year ago. I forget the guy. The guy who like tried to march on Moscow. He led the mercenary group. I forget the guy's name. Prigozhin, I think it was Prigozhin, right? Yeah, that guy. You know, his plane blew up in the sky, and like, did you hear like the story that the Russian government gave? Like, the Russian government basically said like, oh, you know, he was drunk on the plane and he was like partying and he accidentally detonated a grenade. It's like the stupidest thing I heard. He was drunk on the plane partying and accidentally detonated a grenade. Like, what the hell? That's like one of the stupidest, like, dumbest like things I can think of, like, for an accident. Like, do people actually believe that was an accident? No, it's like. Okay. Like your cosplay. Thanks, Ben. What's wrong, Makarov?
Oh, good Jesus!
They thought the CIA did it? Well, if the CIA did it, it'd be war.
That ain't so special.
No, I haven't, Rumbling. CIA has too much power. Let's deliver the target at 7 minutes. If I was president, I would literally abolish the CIA. Yeah. No, the Battle of the Pacific was worse. The Battle Atlantic had showdowns, sure, but the Battle Pacific was worse. Do you think Makarov and Dmitri would be best friends? No, they'd probably betray each other. Next World at War video will probably come out Monday. He forced the pilot to take off even when the plane was overloaded with stuff. What, the pilots warned him? So the pilots warned him and he still forced the plane to take off. Oh, okay, Orion. I want to see San Fierro and Las Venturas in a future GTA game. Maybe Assassin, I could do that. And did the pilots try to warn the Admiral about it?
Come alive just so we can string 'em high. Law's a funny old thing, ain't it? To each their due. Money's on the table.
What are you doing for Christmas this year? Well, every Christmas Eve I always do a charity stream. So we'll do a charity stream on Christmas Eve. I just don't know, I just don't know specifically, you know, what charity we'll do it for, but we'll do a charity stream. That's the thing about the Soviet system, is people were constantly used intimidation and fear, and it's the same thing what happened with Chernobyl, too. It was, instead of going for safety, they would say, oh, do it, do it, do it, and it ended in disaster. No, I never, you know, really asked my mom about that. But I do know one thing. I do know that, do you know that in virtually every single communist country in the world, there is two things that you cannot do that are basic workers' rights that you can do in pretty much every single democratic capitalist country in the world. Do you know what the two things that workers have the right to do in capitalist countries that they don't have the right to do in communist countries? Anybody know what those two things are? Unionize, yep, that's one of them. Unionize is one of them. In communist countries, you are not allowed to form a union. If you try to form a union, you are going to get arrested. And what communist countries do to justify that is they say, you don't need a union because the government is your union. We protect your rights. So there's no need for a union. And literally, it's kind of ironic how communists constantly complain and they say, oh, the American government oppresses workers. You know, they can't unionize. That's what communist countries constantly say. But in their countries, they can't unionize. In America, you can unionize too. You know, there's different jobs for it, but you can generally unionize. It depends on the job. Like if the employer agrees in the contract to unionize, you can unionize. You cannot unionize in any, you know, communist country. And the second thing is, you cannot strike. If you try to do a strike in a communist country, you are going to get arrested. Now, in America, if you do a strike, you might get fired, sure, but you're not going to get arrested for that. So, literally, try to do a strike in any communist country, you're going to get arrested for that. It's the same thing in the Soviet Union, China, you know, North Korea, Cuba. You can't do strikes. The 230 million crypto scam? No, I've never heard about it, Lamar. What is it? Yeah, I'm using free aim. It's a little hard when everyone's using auto aim. Damn, I almost had him. Why are you trying to piss your chat off? What do you mean I'm trying to piss my chat off? What are you talking about? Pardon me, wait, what? Dude, well, you can't protest in any communist country. You're not allowed to. Wait, what's wrong, Chris? What are you upset about? What the? What? Wait, what? How did that just happen? What? This is a co-op activity. What? What? This is a co-op activity. How? This is not a PvP activity. How is he killing everyone? What the hell, dude? What? I was confused how I just died. I thought it was an AI snipe me in the face, and this guy's a scumbag. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Literally, he literally just ruined trade route for everyone. What, does anybody know what this is? And is this a glitch? What is this right now? What? You've got to be kidding me right now. Seriously? You've got to be kidding me right now. Like, this is the first time that I've seen this. I don't even see him in the player's menu. He's not even in the player's menu. How did he get in this session? What? You've got to be kidding me. Seriously. What the hell? Does anybody know how he did that? What is that? Seriously, that guy's a scumbag. Oh my god, that's just... Is he even in here? No, I don't see him in here. I don't see him in here. I don't think I do. Oh my god. No, I don't think he was hacking. I'm playing on PlayStation. There's no this is not a PC. I'm not playing on PC. This is a PlayStation version I'm playing. I'm gonna save this clip. I'm gonna save this. This is ridiculous. That's the first time I've seen something like that. Seriously? You know, you gotta be a real scumbag to glitch into somebody's trade route and then just ruin it and just kill everybody. Like, what do you even get out of that? It's like, what an asshole. A Minutemen 3 ICBM test. You mean a nuclear missile test from California on Tuesday? I actually got recommended about that, but I didn't read much about it, Alvinor. That's one of the reasons I don't play online anymore. Well, I don't blame you, dude. That was some BS. Does anybody in the comments know what that was? Is that some kind of glitch? How did he do that? he wasn't even in the players list. Does anybody know what that was just now? Is that common? That's the first time I've seen something like that. Oh, Olivia Soprano, poor you. Yep. Olivia was a bad person in Sopranos. Oh.
Who's this then?
Do a public match here. My god, I can't believe my trade route was ruined like that. That was the stupidest fail I've seen in a trade route. That was like, I should make that into a short, honestly. That, like, I should literally make that into a short. My game is like, my OBS is like a little bit, hang on. Okay. Okay, that's better. Yeah, trying to... My OBS was like a little off here. The screen was a little off too. For people that don't know what happened, I got killed by like a mod or a hacker. I don't know like what it was, but like go back like 10 minutes ago and you can see some guy like glitched into our trade route and just killed all of us in a co-op activity. Pro forgot about the Fallout DLCs. No, I didn't, dude. I'm gonna play them when I get the chance, though. I'm gonna still play them. Yeah, I forgot to take off the bandana. 6 and 4, okay. I just hope they don't have an 8. Oh, and I just won. Okay. I don't know how he got in the session. I don't know what that was. I don't know. And like and the thing is, usually when I encounter like some of these glitchers in Red Dead Online, I have like a lot of people in my chat that know like what they're doing or like how they did that. But it's like today is like nobody knows like how he got in the session, how he just did that. So like that's the first time I've seen something like that. I've never seen somebody glitch into like a trade route and just, you know, kill all of us. I've never seen that before. My grandpa served in the Korean War. You would have loved to meet him. He was my hero, unlike these celebrities who care more about their ego and status. Oh. The Korean War is a really bad war that a lot of people have forgotten, and I have a lot of respect for your grandfather. Oh, look at these cards. You're a lucky guy right now. Wow, I just keep... No, Team Kill is not on. He did some kind of glitch. And the thing is, I think I know what he did. He somehow glitched into the lobby where it didn't register him as being part of the activity, but he was still in there. Because if you look at the player list, he was not part of the player list. So that's probably why he was able to kill people. Because when the game counts you as part of the player list, you can't kill people in that mode because it's a co-op activity. So he somehow tricked the game into not being part of the player list, did some kind of glitch, and used that to basically kill everybody. Was there American World War II campaigns in Indonesia? I think there was. I know we fought in Papua New Guinea. I know we fought in that country. I think we fought on the coast of Indonesia. In Indonesia itself, I would have to look that up if there was. I'm sure there was some kind of operation. But in those operations like Papua New Guinea, those were the majority of that was U.S. Army, or the Marines were the ones who fought on the island campaign. Shadow Tactics, huh? I know people told me to play the Commando games also. MASH was set during the Korean War. I know, that's an old show that that was on. It was on a lot when I was a kid. Man, I really hope I can get... I'm gonna fold here. If they get an ace, I'm gonna be so pissed right now. Oh, I played Heavy Rain when I was a kid. Yeah, I liked Heavy Rain. Yes, they are, Alvanor. Thank you for the super chat, dude. I'm gonna fold here. These cards suck. Oh, the price in Europe is $900? Oh, wow, that... Michael Caine said that the Korean War killed his sympathy for communism. He grew up poor in the UK and thought that communists cared about the people until he saw Chinese human wave attacks. That's how China managed to kick us out of Seoul, is that they overran us. And then the Korean War ended in a stalemate at the parallel. My favorite movie of all time? Probably Scarface. These cards aren't that bad. Okay, I'll try with these. No, I haven't. I only played Heavy Rain. No, people bring up communism to me. I don't talk about it. It's people bring it up. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. We'll have another part of the 20th anniversary San Andreas later today. Oh, here we go. As long as he doesn't have a jack, I should be good here. Ah, no. Ah. Damn, I jinxed myself. Six and eight. Now these cards suck. Thank you, Custom, for the super chat. Thanks, man. Okay. You're my favorite GTA YouTuber. Thank you, man. I've never really been much of a baseball guy. Great stream, thank you. I do play Xbox, but I do play it on Saints Row 2 a lot of times. Have I tried playing Mark Echo's Getting Up? No, I've never played that one, Custom. Thank you for the super chat. It's about a game about a graffiti crime game about an artist trying to get his reputation up, huh? Okay, this hand, I'm gonna win this. Come on, put in that dollar. Come on, put it in. Come on, put the dollar in. There we go. Bet another dollar again. Who do I think would win in a fight between a Navy SEAL team versus the Vanderlyn gang? Well, different time periods. With modern technology, maybe the Vanderlyn gang, but yeah, SEALs with the modern technology would just destroy them. Thank you, Harry. And Harry, what currency is that? Thank you for the super chat. TRY? I don't know if I've seen that currency before. What currency is that? Well, you can play with me on Saints Row 2, Zach. Okay, let's see. This is my last hand. Let's see if this goes good here. A lot in the pot right now. Whoever wins is going to win a lot of money. Okay, I beat him. Oh, crap. It was straight. Man. Bad luck. Okay. That sucks. It's Turkish lira. I'm on holiday in Turkey. Also, what about a fist fight between Mike Tyson and his prime versus Arthur Morgan? Mike Tyson would, because as much as Arthur Morgan brawls, Mike Tyson that's what he does for a living. He's a professional fighter. He would know how to fight better. So Mike Tyson would beat Arthur Morgan. There's a collectible here somewhere. And thank you, Harry. Oh, here we go. Cherrywood comb. No, I haven't seen that one, Mason.
What's your business with that man?
What's your question, Phoenix? Congrats on beating the game. I'm glad you liked it. And yes, I was part of the Laughing Coffin, one of the worst player guild, killer guilds, or you call us griefers. Wait, what, Phoenix? What are you talking about? No, Hustler. We're probably gonna do the last part of World at War on the anniversary on the 11th. No, I've never heard of him, Gunner. Okay, I'll see you, Ricky. Take care, man. Oh, anniversary of Sword Art Online. And that's also an anime, I think, Sword Art, right? I'm pretty sure it's an anime also. Did Tenpenny intend on CJ killing Pulaski in High Noon? Yes, I think he did. I think Tenpenny left CJ there to kill Pulaski. That's what I think happened. So I guess we'll be wrapping this up, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome, and I hope everyone here has a great weekend. And I will have my next part of San Andreas later today, technically. My birthday today, same day when Berlin Wall falls. Oh, okay, the Greens. Happy birthday to you, the Greens. Everyone wish the Greens a happy birthday there. I hope you guys liked the PS5 Pro review I uploaded a little bit earlier, and I will have next part of San Andreas later today. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.